All right, welcome back, Pokemon players. We're jumping into round 3 of the Lenexa, Kansas Showdown. In this match, we're going to have Josh Adams on the bottom of your screen playing against Jacob Peterson. Both of these players are 1-1 right now. We're going to have a top 4 cut, and X1's going to make it in. So these two players right now are fighting elimination. Josh Adams, a relative newcomer on the scene. I believe he started playing around 2016, maybe 2017, and he's had a lot of success at local events. Jacob Peterson took a quick hiatus. I know I played him as far back as late 2014. Also has had some good success at locals as well as some good top 32 regional performances in his lifetime. Really excited to see what these guys have brought for us. So here we go, jumping into battle as these two players are connecting, and we're going to get into team preview. All right, so on the left side of your screen, you've got Josh Adams' team, which consists of Tapu, Lele, Kartana, Celesteela, Nihilego, Charizard, and Landorus-T form. On the right side, you've got Jacob Peterson's team, which consists of Landorus-T, Zapdos, Blaziken, Snorlax, Cresselia, and Bisharp. So Bisharp seeing a quick rise in usage lately as a way to kind of deter this Intimidate spam from Incineroar and Landorus-T. So we could see that coming in really clutch here. It's going to be able to deal a lot of damage to the Tapu, Lele, and the Nihilego on Josh's side of the field, which could be really strong. Blaziken, another Pokemon we haven't seen a whole lot of this season so far, but it does have a history of being a really powerful glass cannon thanks to its ability speed boost and some of its massive attack stats, as well as good stabs in both fire and fighting coverage, able to deal a lot of damage. So definitely got to be on the lookout for that. So both players have selected their teams as we're jumping into game 1, turn 1 of round 3. Once again, both players are fighting elimination at this point, trying to get into top cut to have a chance at playing for those 50 championship points for winning the event. So here we go, both players sending out their Pokemon, and we see Josh leading with Kartana and Nihilego. Meanwhile, Jacob leading with Zapdos and Landorus-T. So a little bit of a throwback to the 2015 season. Yeah, it's not a Thunderous, but this whole Zapdos and Landorus definitely go together quite well. You know, Zapdos immune to that Quake, and if Zapdos is carrying Discharge, you know, so you can get some of that 2 double targeting attacks, wombo combo going on. Not super common anymore. We did see that this Nihilego carrying the Adrenaline Orb, increasing its speed for being intimidated, so it's going to be the fastest thing on the field, threatening this Zapdos with a strong ground attack, or with a strong rock attack. However, it goes for the hidden power into Landorus as deals, you know, right around 70% or so, and Kartana sets up a Tailwind, so this Earth power into the Nihilego, you know, 4 times super effective. Quick KO there. We'll see if there's a Heat Wave coming out. No, there's a Tailwind, so both players match Tailwind, and Jacob takes a KO with his Landorus, so took some damage on Landorus, of course, you know, paid for it in that regard, but with matching Tailwinds, picking up a quick KO like that, not a bad turn for Jacob. So we do see Tapu Lele coming in here. Now the speeds are going to be important. Zapdos, if it's trained defensively, is going to be slower than Lele. However, leaning more towards the offensive variant, it can be faster. We did see that Kartana is faster than Zapdos. Kartana can definitely pick up a KO on this Landorus if it chooses to, and kind of reset that Intimidate that it got. And then depending on the speeds here, Tapu Lele firing off a Psychic type attack in terrain is going to deal a ton of damage to this Zapdos. Zapdos may not be able to one-hit KO Tapu Lele before it takes a hit, so this is going to be a really key turn to see how they deal with this. Also, huge shout out to Josh. I'm really digging this Kartana's nickname. big fan, big ups for that. So Kartana not wanting to go on the offensive right now, switching out for Landorus. Landorus is going to drop Intimidate on Jacob's Landorus, which is going to be big for preventing damage. However, I did see it use the Earth Power, so it is a bit more on the special side. Cresselia coming in. Cresselia is a good switch in, really thick there, going to take those attacks quite well. And we do see the Psychic into the Zapdos, deals a ton of damage, but not quite enough, thanks to that Life Orb boost, as well as the Terrain, and Heat Wave connects, gets some chip damage, and a burn on Tapu Lele. So the burn cutting the attack in half, not a big deal for Tapu Lele because it is attacking with the special side. However, it is going to get extra damage over time and make it a little easier for Jacob to chip the Tapu Lele. So now we've got Tapu Lele and Landorus facing off against Cresselia Zapdos. The Zapdos is down really low in its HP, and we did see it slower than Tapu Lele, so it can be picked up here. But this Cresselia is going to be tough to KO. It's going to resist the Psychic type attacks from Tapu Lele, forcing it to go to its other stab of Fairy, which is still going to be strong, but will be missing the Psychic Terrain boost. And again, Cresselia just being a fat Pokemon, it's going to be able to take those hits relatively easily. So Landorus going for this Rock Slide, connects with both. That's going to pick up the KO on Zapdos. Potential for flinches, you know, we've got Landorus, there's no reason not to click Rock Slide, right? So we do see Tapu Lele going for Taunt on Cresselia. This can be huge because it's going to prevent Cresselia from going for a Trick Room. However, Cresselia doesn't need Trick Room. Instead, it goes for an Icy Wind, and so that's huge speed control as well as really good chip damage on that Landorus. So now Jacob's got a chance to bring something in that's probably going to be faster than both of these Pokemon at this point, putting himself in a strong position. So we do see Landorus coming back in here. It is at least carrying Earth Power, a little bit on the special side. So Tapu Lele having a higher special physical could survive one of those attacks and then fire off a strong Psychic again. Landorus on Josh's side of the field. Maybe Jacob's carrying HP Ice on his Landorus, could pick up the KO here, especially with the speed advantage. Cresselia could just go for another Icy Wind, should be enough to pick up the KO, and that also covers for a switch, so probably not a bad move for Jacob to make. Looking at ways to KO this Tapu Lele. Landorus, I believe, can learn Sludge Bomb if he wants to. So we do see Josh not wanting to give up his Landorus to a potential Hidden Power Ice. Gives him a chance to reset that speed drop as well, as we do see Sludge Bomb into the top of the protect, and Icy Wind coming out into the Kartana, so that's going to be big. It's going to make Kartana slower than the Landorus. If the Landorus isn't locked into a move, a Choice Scarf, it's in a strong position to go ahead and take a KO here due to Kartana having such a low special defense. So not a bad switch in order to preserve your own Landorus, but it does put Kartana in a little bit of a dicey spot, and this is still a good position for Jacob to find himself in. He's got a chance. He can pick up the KO on Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele, not wanting to get KO'd right now, switches out. However, Landorus is switching into another potential Icy Wind, which could wind up dealing a lot of damage to it, as well as Kartana dropping its speed. However, Kartana's not going to drop its speed right now. Instead, it's just going to get straight up KO'd by the Earth Power, as Icy Wind from Cresselia does connect with the Landorus and picks up the KO. So that is a phenomenal turn in Jacob's favor, just really commanding here. Tapu Lele is going to come back in. It's burnt and it's Life Orb, so even as it's taking KOs, it's going to slowly whittle itself down. Not to mention, it's just not in the position. You know, it's going to KO that Cresselia alone, and Cresselia can continue to do things to support the team, make it possible to finish off that Tapu Lele. So again, I think it looks like Josh sees where this game is going, wants to go ahead, jump into game 2, reset, figure out what he needs to do to break Jacob's team. All right, so here we go, getting into team preview for Game 2. We didn't get to see that Blaziken come out and do anything. I still think it can be a strong threat here. It's going to be able to deal a lot of damage to Cresselia, a lot of damage to Kartana, a lot of damage to Tapu Lele, heck, even a lot of damage into that Nihilego, just by nature of Nihilego having very low physical defense. So Josh is definitely looking at how can I get around this speed control. Last game we traded Tailwinds and I wasn't maintain the speed advantage, and then I kept getting hit by icy winds. So he's got to have a game plan ready to get around that. He's carrying several regular Pokemon. They deal a lot of damage, but if they're not dealing damage first, they're in trouble. So let's go. Jumping into turn 1 again. Let's see what these two trainers have to say. Jacob, again, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Put them on different sides, but same Pokemon. We've got that Landorus and Zapdos versus a Nihilego and Charizard. So again, that Adrenaline Orb activating thanks to the Intimidate from Landorus. That's not a bad way to punish the Intimidate spam going around. So we are going to see this Nihilego moving first, which is going to be really important here. Last game we did see that HP Ice was not enough to pick up the KO that Landorus, so he's going to have to be careful for that. And Landorus leans towards the special side, but we did see, you know, it could potentially have Rock Slide, which is going to deal a ton of damage to Charizard, so that's something Charizard needs to watch out for. And again, comes down to speed tiers. Charizard and Zapdos can speed tie, so it comes down to how each of these trainers have. It's going to be important if Josh wants to take an early advantage to make sure that Jacob can't get Tailwind set up. So Landorus coming out here for Cresselia. Cresselia going to be able to take an HP Ice if it was headed in that direction very well. So we do see Charizard Mega Evolving, setting the sun, boosting its special attack. It's going to be able to deal a massive amount of damage right now. And let's see where these attacks went into. So Hidden Power into the Cresselia slot. That was a Landorus, so definitely could have been, especially with the Flamethrower there, would have been enough to pick up the KO. However, Zapdos sets up a Tailwind and takes no damage. So this is another time where this speed control is just really important, and Josh wasn't able to prevent Jacob from doing so. So he's going to be playing a little bit from behind right now, although he does have the advantage of Nihilego, could potentially outspeed that Cresselia, being seen as Nihilego's at +1. Cresselia's free to fire off more Icy Winds, though, and start resetting that speed a little bit, you know, turn after turn. Although we did see this Cresselia, it took 50% from that combination of attacks. There's no reason to believe that Josh can't KO it right now. The Zapdos, of course, will be a little bit of a problem hitting that Charizard for super effective damage, as Cresselia goes for the ally switch, gonna potentially throw off the targeting here, as we see Electrium Z coming out from Zapdos. That's going to deal a ton of damage to that Charizard. Charizard is not safe right here. As we see this Gigavolt Havoc coming out, that's going to knock out Charizard if that's who Jacob was targeting with it. And it is into that Charizard, so that's an offensive Zapdos for sure. Definitely getting rid of this Charizard. That's a huge boon for Jacob, as we see the Power Gem going into probably the Cresselia, meaning to hit that Zapdos, but because of Ally Switch going into Cresselia, that's a really good turn for Jacob, giving himself a really strong position, getting rid of that Charizard before he deal a whole lot of damage. Now we do see Tapu Lele coming out. Tapu Lele did a ton to that Zapdos last game, but it just wasn't quite enough to pick up a KO. Tapu Lele does have pretty high special defense. It's going to be able to survive a hit from the Zapdos, and Tailwind's starting to run out. However, there is the potential for this Cresselia to start hitting Icy Winds and continue the speed control advantage that Jacob has right now. So we do see Zapdos going for a Thunderbolt, getting some chip damage onto Tapu. Well, that's considerably more than chip damage. That dealt about 50% as Power Gem into Cresselia. It just barely misses the KO and allows Cresselia to go for its berry and heal right back up to 50% HP as the Icy Wind does connect with both Nihilego and Tapu Lele. That's going to be huge as Tapu Lele fires off a Psychic into the Zapdos slot. Not going to be enough to KO, but it deals plenty of damage. Definitely puts it in range for this next turn. And that Icy Wind from the Cresselia, that's the big thing right now. The Nihilego still going to be the fastest thing on the field because it did get a speed boost earlier from its Adrenaline Orb. But if it takes another Icy Wind, or if Zapdos up another Tailwind, which it could be in position to do so right now, Tapu Lele is going to be slower, is at the mercy of that Thunderbolt, given how much damage it did last turn. Tapu Lele is not in a good position right now to take these attacks. So we do see Zapdos going for a Roost, healing up its HP, as well as removing its weakness to rock-type attacks, as Cresselia goes for another Icy Wind. So that's going to be big. I guess I miscounted Tailwind turns there, and we had one more. As we do see the Sludge Bomb coming out into the Cresselia slot, respectable damage. Moonblast from Tapu Lele into Cresselia is enough to pick up the KO there. So that's an important KO, and Tailwind peters out. However, with both of these Pokemon at reduced speed from the Icy Winds they've just received, Jacob maintains speed control. He's still got that initiative on the attack, and he's in prime position to start taking KOs. You know, he's in a spot where he can just KO what's in front of him. He doesn't need to make predictions or anything. So Landorus coming out. Landorus, we saw last game, threatens that Nihilego really strongly with the Earth Power that it can fire off there, as well as right now it's faster than both things on Josh's side of the field. So that's a tough spot for Josh to be in. Tapu Lele at low HP, not a lot keeping it from getting KO'd right now. And again, it's a -2 speed, so it's moving after both Landorus and Zapdos. Really dangerous position. Jacob's got himself in a strong position, so no switches here. We do see the Earth Power coming into this Nihilego, picking up the KO. So no worries about the potential HP Ice or Power Gem to either one of his Pokemon, as Heat Wave comes out to KO the Tapu Lele. And I really like that Heat Wave play opposed to going Thunderbolt, because that covers for a potential switch if this Kartana were to come in, if a Landorus were to come in that was immune, or if Cresselia had switched in for that Nihilego slot. Power did nothing. At least you get the damage from Heat Wave coming out into it. So Kartana versus 3. Kartana's a Pokemon that does have the ability to take these KOs. However, it's really frail. It's going to have to survive several attacks, which it may not be able to do from both of these special attackers. We do see the Bloom Doom coming out. If this is into Landorus, it's going to be able to pick up a KO quite nicely, since Kartana hasn't been intimidated. So we do see Bloom Doom into Landorus, deals a ton of damage, picks up a one-hit KO. However, knowing that it is the Gracium Z item that it's holding, if a Heat Wave's coming out here, it's just got to connect into that very weak special defense. However, Jacob, not wanting to risk accuracy, goes for Thunderbolt and deals about 60% damage. One more of those is going to be enough to pick up the KO. It's just a matter of will Josh be able to get enough KOs with this Kartana? And so we do finally see Blaziken hitting the field. Blaziken slower than Kartana for now, but after one turn of Speed Boost, it's going to be able to just go for a Flare Blitz. So we do see Blaziken Mega Evolving. That's going to boost its speed just a little. Still going to be slower than Kartana, though. But after a single turn, it'll be the fastest thing on the field again. So we do see Kartana going for a Sacred Sword into Blaziken, not enough to pick up the KO, as Blaziken goes for a Flare Blitz into Kartana. That's going to KO. And so there you have it. Jacob Peterson goes to 2-1, and he still is in this tournament with a chance at top cut. So well played by Jacob. Really exciting to get to see Blaziken take that last KO. It's a favorite of mine, has been for a while, so I'm quite pleased with that. And good luck to him moving on later in the tournament. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with the next round.